I speak it though, what's on your mind, is deep though, I speak it though, we on the air, just take it there, I'ma take it there. Hold up, yeah, I talk about it, but I'm real about it, I speak on it, but don't catch feels about it, we can chop it up, like it's nothing, baby.
What's going on, everyone? We are back here live here on the OT Radio Show, and man, oh man, do I have a show for y'all today. Today, when we talk about funk, y'all, we got to talk about funk. And when we talk about funk, we got to talk about multi-platinum guitarist, producer, Mr. Frank Greenfield, and the family of funk. Now, let me go ahead and give y'all a little background, right? This man right here, 6-time platinum, reached Billboard's third R&B. And when I tell you this, he has collaborated with some of y'all artists that y'all listen to today, from Beyonce to Usher. I know a lot of y'all say Usher, I say Usher. He got Usher, Kelly Rowland, Timbaland, Mindless Behavior, Carrie Hilson, y'all, the Pussycat Dolls, Celine Dion. Do I gotta go more? I think y'all don't get this right here. But we got him here, and he's about to join us. And when I tell y'all, Grammy nominated, Golden Glove recipient, multi-platinum, icon, Mr. Frank Greenfield is joining us here today. And we ready. Bring him in. We are here. Good day. How you
What's
feeling
up, dude? What a great introduction. I'm so humbled, man. Oh my goodness. Thank you.
Man, listen, when we talk about funk, man, and when we talk about guitars, the legend is here. The legend is here, man. And I am honored to have you here on the show, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time out your busy schedule just to have conversation with your boy OT, man. Wow.
Dude, it's so humbling to hear that. It's my honor to share anything, I always say I know lots of useless information, so maybe but I appreciate that so much. Of course, I would never look at myself like that, and that's why obviously, Ruth, our publicist, she does a great job, and she does a lot of our marketing and everything, and it's just so humbling to hear, like, I see my life and my career, I see the struggles, and people who see social media or website, they only see like certain things, but they don't know about all the hardships and everything. So when you're talking like that, it makes you think, well, maybe I'm doing something right, or there's people that I mentor in the industry, and so I think maybe I'm on the right path.
yeah, definitely, because when you think about that, right, like you said, everybody only see the top. No one see everything that goes there, right? And I want to talk about that a little bit, because let's unwrap how everything became all of this right here, right? So who is Mr. Frank Greenfield?
Dude, I was born in Trenton, New Jersey. Spent a lot of time kind of in a rural area, and music was always part of my life. I started playing guitar in elementary school, guitar and drums, and if you were my friend, we had a little band together, and I didn't really get into. I went to music college and studied classical and jazz from some really great guys, but there was really no music scene in where I was from. And even when I moved to Philly, thinking, I'm moving to the big city, I kind of felt like I was a big fish in a small pond. There was really not much of a music scene there. Even people talk about the Philly sound. Well, when I was there, the Philly sound was in the past. And there were some good groups that came out of there, but I was also, when I was a young guy, I was trying to find my way. I didn't really come from a musical family, and you know, I like any young guy with a dream, you know, you're kind of, you know, finding your way and navigating through life, and that's kind of how it, you know, it started for me. I would listen to some of my parents' records, and they were you know, so broad, but even Earth, Wind and Fire, Sly and the Family Stone, to the Beach Boys, to Herb Alpert and Tijuana Brass, to George Benson. It was so, you know, so vast, but I always loved how music could elevate your mood. You could take you to another place, and you know, that's something I really loved.
Wow, wow. Well, you know, you have said something dear to my heart just a few minutes ago. And I want you to look at this background. And you said Philadelphia.
Hmm.
And you said you was in Jersey, you born in Jersey, right across the bridge. And Philadelphia is my home. I love
Oh
myself in
wow. Okay.
Philadelphia. I'm from Philadelphia. That is my home. Now, you said the music scene, in which I would say that you was correct. You know what I mean? Like the music scene was, a little bit,
Hmm.
right? But then it started to develop through the years, right?
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question because before you became this artist, you was this greatest producer. All right.
Oh.
Yes, yes. So how did you transition from recording producer to now artist?
So when I moved to LA, I need to back up. I moved to LA 20 years ago, and I had kind of wrapped up some things in life, like back there. You know, I have to include though, in my employment career, I learned in retrospect several things. I learned how to be a good businessman. I learned to have to fight for what was mine.
Mm-hmm.
I also had gotten involved on the East Coast deeply into the martial arts and martial arts, certain philosophies that I carried off into, you know, my music career. And so when I came out to LA, I knew one person. I didn't really know anyone. I just thought, I'm going to go out there. I have to do or die. I have to make this happen. And um, I just ended up working with a group of people, and we worked really hard, and we were, you know, I mean, that's a whole nother story, but um, I've always been a performer, artist. I think first businessman, you know, performer, artist, producer, if it could go with something like that. And so the first, you know, 15 years working with, you know, other production teams and labels, and really learning about the business. But there was still this part of me that just loved to perform and just loved to play. So I would go to you know, some blues jams, or even, you know, I'm a church guy too, so there's a lot of, you know, worship groups out in Los Angeles, and so it's very, you know, some of that music is very challenging, and I found that, you know, great, just so I could you know, play guitar. And back in 2016, I was producing an American Idol finalist, and we would go out and do these gigs. And we'd play with the house band. I would play guitar, and this guy, you know, he would sing, and we would bring the house down. It was at some little club by by LAX, and a guy that, you know, worked for Ronnie Wilson of the Gap Band came and heard me, and he came up to me and said, "Man, you're really playing that guitar for a white boy. You're really playing that thing funky, you know." And he said, "You know, I'm Ronnie Wilson's um, personal assistant," and the guy's name was Smokey, and there's always a place in my heart for Smokey.
Uh-huh.
But you know, we followed it up, and he got me an audition for Ronnie Wilson. I was with them just, you know, for a short time, 2016, 2017, and then shortly after that, became one of the music directors for another group called Side Effect.
Mm-hmm.
They're also a funk group, had a lot of hits out, and I just used to love performing with them. But funk, pop, R&B was always my thing. I
Mm-hmm.
just, you know, loved it. And I mean, I have a lot of music, you know, hip hop stuff that's in film and TV, and because, you know, I love all of it. But one of my mentors used to work at Warner Brothers, said, "Frank, if you want to be on the radio, you listen to the radio." And so it's always like radio oriented, pop, funk, that 4 on the floor. I mean, growing up, I loved disco. I just love that. That made it made people dance, and
Right.
so that was kind of my uh, you know transitioning more into performing more. And then with the family of funk, I had made some great friends. Like one of my best friends is Wayman Starks. He was an original Gap Band member and out with Charlie Wilson for in Charlie's solo career. And one of the singers, Mia Dunn, when there was the lockdown, we were just looking for more stuff to do, looking to expand our career. People were still downloading music. My publishing catalog was still doing well. So we put this band together, the Family of Funk, and we started writing songs, and coming up with our personas, and that's kind of how it, we started to get the industry attention. And but even though it's still like a grind, but in a much different way.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you said some things that struck out to me, right? And you talk about martial arts, right? How did that philosophy affect your career?
Oh man, yeah, I love to talk about that because it affected everything. Like I kind of I've said this little saying, like to do or die attitude, or no matter what it is, whether it's fitness or a career, like nothing that is worthwhile is ever easy. And I found, out here in LA, the level of talent is so high. You've got USC, which is, it's not too far from here. You've got Musicians Institute. So you've got just people cranking out just great talent. So when I came out, I'm going to try to summarize it because I remember when it happened in my martial arts career. Maybe I've just been in it for a few years, and some guys came in, maybe a little bit younger, just with some incredible natural athletic skills. And martial arts kind of came hard for me. I was not really that much of an athlete. I mean, I ran cross country and some track and stuff, but I wasn't ever really into sports or anything. So some of these guys had just natural, incredible skills. I mean, I was just always comparing, and like, man, it's just going to be like a hard road. But I started to learn this, and this was key. I can only be the best version of me. I can only do that. And I learned about that in martial arts because I would always, as artists, we're kind of always comparing or always kind of seeing where we fit or when we're finding our own lane. Sometimes we're bouncing off the one side and whoops, coming over this side.
Right.
And I kind of learned like that I can only do what I do and to do it the best way. There's a lot of like, I play guitar, electric, acoustic, I play classical, some mandolin, some banjo, but I can only do what I do, well. When you go on Instagram or TikTok, you see 14, 15-year-olds just absolute shredders, just killing it.
Yeah.
And
true.
I don't take nothing away from them, but I just do what I do. And what I do comes from also like a business experience, because what I do is the business of music. Even putting a band together, it's great to go out and do shows, but there's a business behind it. There's, there really is. You have to approach it like, like a business, because I'm only concerned now about something I can leave, behind. So that includes, a substantial brand. It's great just to go out and play gigs, but to create a brand, a marketable, brand is what I'm doing.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I gotta talk a little bit about you talking about training and stuff like that. How important is to formally train, especially in music and education?
Yeah, I am a formal training guy. I think it. When I went to Westminster Conservatory of Music in Princeton, New Jersey, and I remember, I had played guitar even in elementary school, but I didn't really get into it until early 20s, like my training. And I remember at the time, rock was big, and you had a lot of guys that were real great players, and they were studying certain idioms. They were studying classical. They were studying jazz. And so I thought, if I really want to step up my game, I have to apply, this. And I actually had to unlearn some bad habits.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of really where I started to really apply myself. And I didn't really want to become a great jazz guitarist or a great, classical guitarist. Still, I'm not. But being able to understand the fretboard, understand music theory, knowing obviously where the notes are on a fretboard, and just as well as having an ear. Because some people say, well, this so-and-so didn't, he never went to school, or so-and-so never went. Well, I did. I went to school because,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll tell you how so even when you're improvising, or let's just say, I'll go back to, when I first had my audition with the Gap Band.
Mm-hmm.
And I really didn't know the songs. And I came in there, the band was already set up. They had been in the rehearsals for one day, and they were getting ready to go out and do these shows. So they were in rehearsals for like the rest of the week. And Ronnie says, okay, Frank, so when we're going to play this song, we're going to play Drop the Bomb.
Mm-hmm.
And when I point to you, you solo.
Mm.
So that was the audition. And
Wow.
so it's not, so I'm like to the keyboard player, okay, what key we in?
Mm-hmm.
So not knowing the song, but knowing like theory, know what works here, rather than staying in one position. I could play something that sounds actually interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And so, they were like, Ronnie's like, okay, you're in.
Wow.
So that's how those kind of things, translate, and also in the studio, when people, most of the time when you're writing for an artist, maybe they want 2 songs and you might be writing 10, or we would play music that we're working on over the phone, or, and so a lot of times you're coming up with something on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
And, producers like, well, what else you got?
Right.
Be like, damn, that's so hot. I wish it was that. But
Right.
okay, it needs to go in a different direction,
Mm-hmm.
And so like people think R&B or pop is nothing, but it's sometimes how you voice chords,
Mm-hmm.
And using certain chordal elements to elevate a chorus, or it's much, what I found is that it applies. Music theory is extremely relevant in those, in that type of music, at least from what I gather. Even hip hop, something that makes it sound dramatic in the background,
Uh-huh.
or sort of to set the mood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, because I always say this, right? So when you're watching a movie, right, the sounds in the movie
Yes.
dictate your feelings.
Exact. That's right. That's
And
right.
like I'll be listening, and I'm like, yo, something is about to happen. Like
Yeah.
something is about to happen because that sound comes about. Then you can tell when someone is about to be in love, the sound. Someone's about
Yeah.
to get hurt, the sound. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? So you are absolutely right how sound actually, when you have that good ear, that
That's
sound
right.
dictates the mood and dictates things. That's definitely true. Well,
Yeah.
let's talk about the family of funk. Right?
Yes.
We gotta talk about the family of funk. Now, as you said, the family of funk is basically a family, right?
Yes.
And how with this crowded field of talent that's all in LA and across the world, right? How do the family of funk uh achieve different things in this funk era? You know what I mean? Like, far
Yeah.
as your success, right? Because y'all is doing some things, right? That
Yeah.
people don't really realize. Y'all doing some things. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, back to we are a family, and it's not like, it's funny. If you have a family, or if you're a family person, there's always saying you can't really choose family.
Right.
And there's a few things that about our family, like when I was mentioning one of my best buds, Wayman. So Wayman and I were a few years apart, but we have the same birthday. And we always call each other my twin. Now Wayman's skin is much darker than mine.
Right.
I always would joke about it. I know it's hard to tell us apart, but you know, we. But seriously, and it makes us. You know, the thing is, you know, I'm really like, my world is extremely, you know, varied as far as the way, you know, people look or act. Even my best and long-term writing partner, Lamar. He's younger than me. We kind of came from different cultures. He's from out here, and I'm from the East Coast. But what we do together was just you know, amazing. That we have two of our female leads, Mia Dunn and Cherie Dunn. When I was looking for another singer, I found this woman Cherie, and Cherie is dark complected, and Mia is lighter. Not that that really matters, but I talked to Cherie. I said, Cherie, what's your last name? She said, Dunn. I said, I think you're supposed to be in this band because, you know, Mia has the same name as you. Right. So we call them the illustrious Dunn sisters, and it's
wow.
And one of
they're not even sisters.
Both, it's crazy. They both really, you know, Cherie's got more of a Chaka Khan kind of a sound, just great R&B. Mia is just like almost like a rock kind of a powerhouse. She's got this belt that is just, you know, wow. So that's kind of who we are. And from like the funk days when I was really into disco, it was all about feel good, you know, positive, you know, things. It's funny, when I was in the studio with Wayman likes to watch these like 70s shows and these cop shows, and there's all kinds of the Mod Squad. The Mod Squad is one of my favorite TV shows, and it was like there's everybody from all shapes, sizes, and colors, and that's really what our world, you know, is. And there's we always say, like, you know, there's only one race of people. Why are we being allowed to be divided? You know, and so, you know, funk always kind of had that combination. You know, even when I got into Gap Band, I realized that, you know, they wanted like this rock kind of guy, you know, kind of shredder. But you know, it's all good. It's all good. So that's kind of our vibe, you know, is what we push, but we also live it. That's who we are. You know, I know everybody really well in the group, and you know, you have to be like genuine. It's one thing to kind of find your own lane, but then like I found like this is kind of who we are, you know, and you know, we want, it's funny. Will Ferrell says in one of his funny movies, I think he says, everybody love everybody.
That's the truth, though. That's the truth.
It is the truth. If we all came from one woman, and we're all, you know, there's only one race of people. So that's kind of, you know, what we're about. So we just go out and we just sing our songs of unity. We bring a great show. We've got there's a lot of talent in the band. You know, we've got a great rhythm section. We have the rhythm section basically, because you know, drums are my first instrument too, so I approach everything very rhythmically. Wow! And I want like a gospel type of drummer, you know, with gospel type chops, and then you know, like a funk type of you know, bass player, and so you know, we put it together, you know, for that, to carry that message, you know.
Wow! Wait a minute! You just said drums is your favorite. Wow.
Well, it was my first. It was my first
right.
instrument.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, ain't that something? So let's talk about, you know, how do you write your songs? Like, is it something that you feel, something that you see? Is it a vibe that y'all might have, you know, around? You know, is people actually helping? Like, let's go into that scenario.
Okay, it is all the above.
All the above. Okay.
Yeah. Like, okay. So for instance, one thing we're excited about, we're doing a remix of the Gap Band's Early in the Morning. We're doing like an EDM remix. With that, we're also some of our originals. There was some tracks that my writing partner and I had done for other artists that had this really kind of, strong disco funk feel, and we utilized some of that music. And then Mia is really she's really strong with a pen, and just a great lyricist. So even like we have the song called Woohoo, the Family of Funk, and the chorus is welcome to the family of funk, everybody's welcome, black, white, brown, red, yellow, big or small, we're gonna embrace you, gonna welcome you all. I mean, it's just
Wow, dude.
yeah.
I love it.
And then sometimes people send us songs and we see if it fits our vibe, or we wrote a song, myself and Wayman, called We Bougie Every Day.
Right.
Just over this funk beat, and just singing about going to the thrift store. My bling is always shiny, I always smell just right, no one can deny me. It's just because we are
Right.
at least I am. Well, everybody in the band is extremely bougie.
Well, I mean, listen, because the people in your band, see, a lot of people don't realize the talent that's in your band.
Yeah.
Right. From the singers, right, to the keyboardists, and it's crazy because all that sound and all that talent, is here. The family of funk. Because some of your vocalists, they recorded with some of the hottest industry people out here. You know what I mean? Background. Then you got keyboardists and stuff like that. Like it's y'all been in the industry.
we have, and it's from a business standpoint too. I found this too. Like people can, when Lamar and I used to work for Walter Millsap and Timberland, we had this kind of just like this knowledge about what the percentages to success, and it's like 10% talent. Talent is a given. You got to have talent, but it's only 10% of the equation. 50% if you're already really established, if you've already got a name out there, you're on records, or if you're a gigging musician, you go from tour to tour to tour. Some people I know are on like Taylor Swift's, or retainer, and they're just working all the time. And then 40% who you know and how you work with them, not just who you know, but will you show up on time? Will you not be all jacked up? Will you always bring it? Will you always bring the heat? And are you reliable? Like those things, people think, oh, I can do that, but they don't do that, or they won't do it. And people that are seasoned musicians or understand certain things about the business know the grind. And I've seen so many really talented people just out here go down in flames, and they don't have a good plan, or they don't have a good like business or work acronym. And guys like Wayman or Mia or Cherie, like they always show up on time. They always they always look the part. They always bring the heat. And sometimes things are really challenging. Like I said, the grind it's really difficult. Even when you have great people around you, things don't necessarily work out sometimes. But there's a great understanding because they've been there and they've got that experience, and they bring their experience, to the family of funk.
Man. So now the family of funk, with everybody that's collabo in it, with all the background that y'all have in the industry, where can we go see the family of funk at?
Well, this is what we're doing. We have so much happening right now. Like I said, we're just getting ready to finish up this early in the morning. We brought in 2 featured rappers we're really excited about. One is an actor named Liso. He was a well-known actor on The Wire. He's got a big underground following, so he's doing some rap. Another guy's G Soldier. Lacey, he's featured on it. So we're actually going to be finishing up the vocals. We're bringing Tess Escoto in. She worked with Michael Jackson on Man in the Mirror. She's coming down, and we're going to actually be working on the vocals this weekend. We'll be releasing it June 23rd. I'm actually going to a fundraiser, Groove for Good, brings music programs in for children. We just signed with a new management and a new, PR team. And so we're getting ready to book gigs. We've been talking about a tour in Amsterdam and London and then in the States, Chicago, New York, Houston, anywhere where St. Louis, anywhere where that our kind of music is received. So that's kind of what we're doing right now. So look out, because we're coming.
Wow, dude. Listen, man, y'all gotta keep me up to date with all the stuff that y'all going on, because I would love to get the whole group on, right?
Yeah.
Because
Okay, great.
listen, we gotta get the whole group on. So I would definitely reach out to your publicist and try to see can we get
Yes,
the whole
absolutely.
group to come on.
Ruth Davis Consulting is so we have people on our team. Jeff Arcio at Creative Crew, Gig Productions, Creative Crew. Ruth Davis, Deb Hayter does our press inquiries, and it took a lot of we were working with some people last year that it's kind of hard to it's navigating and working with people, and then we actually had a few setbacks on the single, and it just the sound with this other producer just was not working out, and so we kind of stepped up, myself and Lamar. I said, why am I having somebody else produce this? We've got these hits, we're going to do it. So
yeah, man. I mean, listen, man, y'all catalog, like just alone, your catalog alone speaks volume. So you are absolutely right. Like, why we got these producers doing our stuff and we can do it ourselves?
Yeah, and sometimes people like to be attached when they see that you have stuff going on. They want to be attached to what you're doing. It's also one of the things about the grind and navigating. Normally I can kind of pick certain things out kind of quickly, but LA can be a difficult town to navigate sometimes, and you kind of get caught up and but it's all good, and it's for the best, and. The music industry is like, you get setbacks, you take a few steps forward, take a few steps back. But, I know this from even when I was, and I still, do production, but man, it's as far as it's a terrible game of numbers. It's not like, you can get out of college, you can get a job. It's not like music. It's not like that. Yeah. It's fraught with bad actors and just people trying to attach themselves to your brand because you have stuff going on and they don't. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, if they live by your rule that you said, 10% talent, 50% is basically already have something established, or 40% is who you know and what you do, right?
That's right. Exactly.
If they do that, then they will be successful. Right. And you are absolutely right. Yeah. Like, I'm sitting back and I'm like, just, because I made a note of this, and I'm actually going to use that note, and I'm going to pick that note up because it actually makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, it makes sense.
And people think the hard work is like, I'm going to go in the studio and I'll give you my example of hard work. Sitting in front of my computer for 4 or 5 hours, updating my IMDb. Or, just the marketing aspect. I don't even pick up a guitar, for 3 or 4 days. Like, it's like, that's not the work I want to do, but that's the hard work. And it's necessary in this day and time for the family of funk, for me to go and do those things. It really is. It's the stuff that you don't want to do, but you have to do it.
Yep.
So,
I agree. I agree 100% with that. Well, You know, it was an honor, definitely, man. I
Oh,
definitely
the honor's
enjoyed
all
this,
mine,
man.
boss.
Listen, man, I definitely enjoyed it. So tell everybody where they can find you at on social media, websites, etc.
We are thefamilyoffunk.net, thefamilyoffunk.com. We have a Facebook page. We're on Instagram, The Family of Funk. We are trademarked. We are, you know, stamped, printed up, all that. Yeah, we just Creative Crew just redid all of our social media. So all the latest and greatest stuff. Yeah, we're also getting ready to do this big remix contest with these international remixers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so we're really excited about all the stuff that's coming. It has taken a little longer to come, but it's going to be worth it.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, again, this is a great example. Anything worthwhile is not easy.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. Because I heard a lot of times, and I listened to a lot of people, and they said, sometimes like some of their greatest hits, they already did it 5 years ago,
that's right.
and now you're just listening to it now. You like, wow, they like, no, this song is actually 5 years old.
That's
You
it.
sit back like, what? And like,
Hmm.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. That's
So,
right. Exactly. Yes. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
man. Man, well, listen, man, I definitely appreciate you so much for joining me here on the show. You are definitely an icon, man. You are a
Oh,
legend. You do a whole lot of things. Your cat, what I mean, everything is just everything.
my friend.
Honestly, man. And we're gonna stay in touch. Welcome to the family, as we always say here, because now you are part of the family. So welcome to the
Yay.
OT show family. I appreciate you so much. And like I always say, if you need anything, we are definitely here. If you got a show coming up, definitely tag
Yes.
us in it. If you got a show, tag us in it. We are going to be following on all social media platforms. So you will see us just like we see you. So
All
at the end of the
right.
day, partners is what we are, and this is what we're going to do. But thank you again, man. And I'm
Oh,
giving
thank
you your
you.
roses. I'm giving you your roses because you have done a lot, and that's seriously like you have done a lot, and
Well, thank you.
you being so humble and you being the way that you are, and still giving knowledge, and still teaching, and still helping, that
Yeah.
says a lot. You know what I mean? That
Well,
definitely
thank
says a
you.
lot, man. And funk gonna always live on, like I always tell people.
Yes,
Funk
it
will always
will.
live
Long live
on.
the funk. Woohoo!
Long live the funk. All right, well, listen, man, I definitely appreciate you, and hey, appreciate you, man. And
Likewise, brother.
have yourself a good day, and keep on enjoying the funk,
You
and keep
too,
on
sir.
bringing us this music, man, because we need it. We
You
need it.
too. God bless, man.
All
Okay.
right, man. You too, bro. Oh man, good show here, y'all.
Great.
Yes, yes, yes. We didn't had the legend, multi-platinum guitarist, producer Frank Greenfield, and when I tell y'all, it was an honor. If y'all missed this show, y'all can always go back and watch it on YouTube, watch it on Facebook. I'm telling y'all, the Family of Funk, legendary. The group, legendary. They catalog, legendary. Telling y'all gotta understand this. They've been in this game for a while and still bringing the funk and coming together as one. That's why he said a family coming together as one with all of the categories, all of the acronyms, and they giving you this. Man, y'all know what y'all missing, man. Y'all better go ahead and check them out on all social media platforms. Seriously, y'all, check them out. The Family of Funk. Like he said, they stamped and they approved. Yep. Stamped and approved. Y'all heard it right here. Stamped and approved. Well, listen, I definitely appreciate y'all joining us here on the show. We love y'all. Y'all be good. And like I always say, if someone asks you how you doing, you tell them you're doing better than yesterday. All right, y'all. So, hey, tomorrow I'll see y'all. Same time, same place, same show here with your boy OT. Thank you for watching, and make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. Y'all see it right up there. OT Radio Show on all social media platforms. Like I said, Google us. You'll find us. We all around. We'll find y'all. And thank you for watching. Peace.